When Kings Are Afraid by Reverend David Go. Take time to read 1 Samuel chapter 13 verses 1 to 13. Fear is universal. Men and women, young and old, have all experienced being afraid. Though some experience less of it, no one is exempted because fear is a byproduct of sin. When Adam sinned, one of the first fruits he reaped was fear. Genesis chapter 3 verse 10 says that Adam became afraid of God, so he hid himself. Saul was the first king of Israel. God personally chose him to govern his people, but he also experienced fear. 1 Samuel chapter 13 verse 7 tells us that while fighting the Philistines, Saul and all the troops with him were quaking with fear. Yes, all of us have fears. Even kings as powerful as they are can also be afraid. Looking at Saul's response to his fear, we can learn of at least two lessons. 1. When afraid, don't take things into your own hands. And we can find this in verses 8 to 9. Saul initially did the right thing. He waited for Samuel, God's anointed prophet and priest, to come and pray for them. Nonetheless, when Samuel was delayed and the people started to desert him, Saul did the unthinkable. He usurped Samuel's authority and offered sacrifices on behalf of the people. Don't do what he did. When the going gets tough, persevere in your faith and obedience. God will come and deliver you. He is never late. Just wait patiently and expectantly for him. 2. When afraid, don't look around and don't listen to rumors. And we can find this in verses 11 to 12. When the Israelites saw that their situation was critical and they were losing the fight, they panicked. They hid in caves and thickets, among the rocks and in pits and cisterns. Some Hebrews even crossed the Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. When Saul saw that the people were running away and heard news that more Philistines were amassing nearby, he also panicked and did what he was not supposed to do. If they had only focused their eyes on God and trained their ears on His word, they would not have panicked. Instead, they would have witnessed the coming of the Lord and of Him winning the battle for them. When you are afraid, fix your eyes on God and His unchanging word. Focus your eyes on His sovereign power, His wisdom, His goodness, and His steadfast love. Stop surveying the circumstances and stop listening to the news that people are passing. The COVID-19 pandemic is still with us, and we don't seem to see it ending soon. Some of you may now be seriously concerned about this. May today's devotion help you know what to do when you are afraid. Earthly kings may be afraid, but with Christ our King, we do not need to be.